I haven't picked up the camera in weeks. I haven't talked to the camera in weeks. Your boy's a state certified naturalist now, and that's what I've been working on for the past few weeks. It has been so much of just spending time out here and walking for miles and miles and miles and miles and learning about all of the different coastal processes, not even just coastal processes, but processes in general that shape ecosystems and nature in general. And not only that, but also doing just a bunch of reading and field work and projects and listening to lectures and going to meetings. And I have just been completely engrossed in the naturalist world of Humboldt, and I love it. It's my face doesn't lie. But I'm out today. It's the most immaculate day out today. It's about 70 degrees, pretty light wind. I came from way up out there, and I've just now seen all these tracks right here. And funny enough, here, I'll get a better angle so the camera can pick them up. But these are all raven tracks, actually. We do get really big ravens out here in the dunes, so you can see that they were walking around out here. And the way that you can tell it's a raven track, it's actually really quite easy. You can see the three toes, and then this long line right here is that back toe. They actually drag through the sand when they walk, and they're out here looking for like pupated larvae of like wasps or moth babies that are, you know, their eggs are laid in the sand, so they come out in the winter time and start, you know, eating at all those pupating larvae. So pretty cool. It's really cool to come out and, like, you know, there's nobody out here, there's no animals, but there's evidence of them, so you can almost like get a sense of all of this movement. We also have foxes and skunks and deer out here, and if I see any tracks of those, you already know. More ravens. So this is another thing. This is called a sand verbena hummock, and ciliated dune beetle larvae as well as moth larvae will often be here because these plants have something called rhizomes, and I'm not going to dig it up, but it's basically like this really big root that looks kind of like a carrot, and they store and collect water. But you can see all the raven tracks in here too. They just were going crazy. You can even see, like, you know, where they were putting their beaks in. Dang, I just spotted this, I don't know if my camera will pick it up because it's so wide, but there's a huge cloud of smoke coming up from over there, and that's right into town. So I'm gonna go walk up on the ridge right here and see if I can see what's burning. That's crazy. Check this out. These are little feline prints of some kind. Honestly, probably just someone's cat. Let's see if I can find a nice clear one. Yeah, this is probably just a common house cat that's just hanging out on the dunes. But still pretty cool. I'll show you guys when I come over this rise right here, but something really characteristic about dunes is these they all, well, not all, but here at least, we have these like old growth forests that exist, like they're growing on sand dunes. It's really quite interesting, and that smoke that I saw from before kind of looks like it's clearing up, so I'm just gonna keep pushing a little bit further. I have work later, so I can't go too far, but I'm gonna try and get a little bit more out of this walk. See if I can't find anything else cool worth sharing. All right, this is perfect. So that's that sand verbena, and you can see this rhizomy root here. It's very carrot-like. And what's cool about these, if I can get this one out a little better, yeah. What's cool about these two is that they can be completely buried, you know, wind blown, salt stripped, whatever. And they are super resilient. They will just keep growing. And it is actually one of the most resilient plants you'll see in the dunes. Like, there's some growing here, 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 all up along there. You can just see it everywhere, doing super well. And that's because of that rhizome root. It allows it to store so much water in a substrate that has no moisture. Just walking through this hummock right here, seeing if I can find any bugs. I see them flying around, but they're just little black specks that are flying around. Oh, here we go. There's a grasshopper. Pretty neat. That's this is called beach buckwheat. It's as implied. You can actually ground up the seeds from this and make buckwheat flour. And animals really like this guy. Like you can see right here, this is most likely from a butterfly larva eating that leaf. And bees will also, they don't eat the leaves, but there's like this really fine fiber on them that help collect moisture. And wool carder bees will come through and just pick off all the little fibers, roll them up in a ball, and make nests out of them for their eggs. And they'll do that with like other leaves too, not just the beach buckwheat, but that's one that has those really fibrous, soft leaves. There's a big buckwheat right there. Yeah, beach buckwheat and verbena are probably the most successful, other than the invasive European dune grass, which you see a lot of out here too. Not too much, but it's definitely prevalent. All right, this is a better example of that verbena root. You can just see, like, imagine how much water can be stored in this. And then, you know, living in a place that right now is very dry, there's not a lot of rain, but this just stores all that moisture, and it goes so deep. Like, this is such a big root. And you would imagine too that like this is a fairly small plant, and this is its root system. The root system's bigger than the plant. So then you see those bigger clusters of it, and it's like, those are like actually the size of carrots. It's something else. I feel like such a nature nerd. We're coming up on a really good spot right here that overlooks this old growth forest, and it really, really illustrates how these occur. So basically, you have these really steep dune sections like this that create these safe havens from the salt spray. And if you can see, you know, these Sitka spruce, or, I mean, sorry, these aren't Sitka spruce, these are beach pine. They're more tolerant of that salt spray, so they create this barrier. And these plants that are less tolerant, if you can see, they all kind of are the same height, because that's where that salt spray comes in. So they're only growing to a certain height. But down at the bottom of here, which is almost impossible to get to because it's just so dense, is the water table. So that's how these plants are able to grow. And you can see here, that thing has been growing for decades, probably, you know, more than 100 years this has been here. And you can see all the lichen growing on it. This is just a very thriving community of plants. And what's sad is what I'm standing on right here is called the dune creep, and you can see it happening, but this will continue to just push into these forests, or into this forest, and eventually it'll just suffocate it. It'll be buried. And there's a really good example of that happening to this tree right here, which most likely was a part of all of this. And there is most likely an ancient forest, you know, decaying under the sand right here. But that tree was a very, very tall tree to still be that much out of the sand, when you can see where that root system is actually going to be located. So these dunes out here are just amazing places, and until I feel like you have someone that can explain what it is that you're actually seeing, like it's just another beautiful place. But there's so much more than just beauty going on here, and I think that's kind of what has me so fired up on these dunes.